creative ideas for a Master Guide Club, for example, but can work outside the Master Guide Club program. And this is thinking in young people 16 and older, okay? Until now, every time it seems that we are focused just in theory, just in more books, more books, more books. But in the reality, the theory needs to come with experience also in learning. Experience is super important. It was in the past and is very important for new generations. And you can put a note in a table. You know, everybody will talk about the note. You can describe the road, the dimensions, the angles, and everything, and you can keep talking about the note. But that's not experience, so they don't care about that note, number one, and they will never learn it because it is what for? What is the purpose of that note? But if you use it, if you have a plan, if you have a purpose for that note, that will change. And let me show you an example. What is the difference between these two notes? Question of the million, but there are too many people participating, so I will jump in. And basically, this is a clove hitch, very useful to secure a meeting point. And this one is a dynamic top knot, useful to secure a first or second rope, and also for rappel. The first one will keep you safe. The second one, if you make a mistake, you will go directly to the bottom of the mountain, and you are dead, basically. Because the second one, they use it to pull in one side and to release the rope in the other. So that's why it's so important to have an experience of what for is something that we are teaching. In this case, as an example, the knots, okay? So if they see that it's useful, if they see that they can use it and how can use it, and if they can experience that, the knot will be a valuable thing. If we just teach it for the requirement, for the honor that they had to complete, and that's it, that will not be enough. How do we learn? We learn 10% what we read, 20 what we heard, 30 what we see, 50 what we see and heard, 70 what we discuss, 80 what we experience. That's why it's so important. And this is for all of you, 95% what we teach others. So consider that. If you don't know something, teach it. That will be the best way to learn it. When you have to prepare a presentation about something that you don't know, that's a very good opportunity to learn about that, to experience, to research, and to keep growing in knowledge. Benjamin Franklin said, tell me and I will forget, show me and I might remember, involve me and I learn, okay? So that's experience, that's involvement. And in the book Education, Method of Teaching, and this is just the two parts quote of Helen White, she says, for ages, education has had to chiefly with the memory, had to do chiefly with the memory. This faculty has been taxed to the utmost, while the other mental powers have not been correspondingly developed. Students have spent their time in laborious crowding and the mind with knowledge, very little of which could be utilized. Okay? This is, let me read the second part. So in one side, we have an abuse of the memory, of memorizing things, of theory, basically. But in the other side, seeing the evil of this method, some have gotten to another extreme. In their view, man needs to only to develop that which is within him. Such education leads the student to self-sufficiency, thus cutting him off from the source of true knowledge and power. So in one corner we have only theory, and the other corner is we don't have to read anything, we just need to experience, and both extremes are not good. So we had to combine the theory and the practice, otherwise education is not happening. mentorship is not happening, okay? So, and I'm pretty sure that many of you that already have a lot of experience understand this. It is sometimes hard when we teach, and I can tell about that. We teach every year several tracks, AYMT certificates here in Andrews. And it is really hard to teach them 10 hours on a road and expect them for them to apply all that coming back to their clubs and apply that because it's not possible. So what we are doing is working with the Master Guide Club and teaching every week. So instead of a big chunk of information, they get every week a little bit, so they are processing and applying. Now, let's go to the main topic. What could be an attractive activity to teach the Master Guide curriculum in the context of a Master Guide Club, for example? Let me introduce to you something that you might be familiar or not, but I'm very familiar with this, but because I'm one of the coordinators for this. This is Master Guide Outdoors, which is a ministry from a North American division that I helped to develop and to prepare. What is Master Guide Outdoors? Basically are NAD sponsored activities coordinated by properly trained Master Guides that are designed by Conference Union youth directors and their teams. The mission is to motivate Master Guide and friends to enjoy God's creation by training them on how to participate and lead a successful outdoor expedition in unique locations. Okay. And the vision is connect all people with God by exploring His creation. What is Master Guide Outdoor? Let me explain in different words. These are the old fashion expeditions that we have been doing like for decades, but this time we are using them not just for Master Guides, but for people that is not Adventist. We are using this as a way for evangelism. And let me explain why this is so important. There are a lot of young people, new generations, that they will never step on a church. Back in the time, I can tell it was expected from young people to attend a church. They had to decide at some point which church they will attend. But today, that's not real anymore. People, they simply don't think that they need to attend a church unless there is a strong tradition at home. But most of the people, we are talking about, and I feel confident talking about this with you leaders, we are talking about a post-Christian era, basically, here in the United States, where the new people, that is the new birds, the new kids are not in contact with religion at all. Many of them, most of them, according to the statistics. So we are not working as a default institution that we expect the people to come. We are working back to evangelism, and we had to understand and assume that. So with that said, Master Guide Outdoors are expeditions that go to different places, usually national parks. We have part of the team are from Canada, and we go to different places, make a video promotion, and then we open it so people that like this kind of activity, and you will find a lot of young people in the trails. Those kind of people will be welcome to join us, but it will be organized by Master Guides, okay? So because technically Master Guides are the ones that should have the proper training to do this. What is not Master Guide Outdoors? Master Guide Outdoors, and this is a specific ministry, I'm not saying that everybody should do it in this way, I'm just opening the conversation. It's not a survival activity. I've been in the jungle, for example, with machetes, opening trails in nowhere. I've been in rivers, I've been in mountains, I've been in the North Pole doing expeditions. And you expect that from a master guide club, but you know, people that is not Adventist, people that is not familiar with that, they don't receive very well sometimes the survival activity. Yes, the adventure, but not the, you know, let's eat plants all the weekend and we'll see what happens. This is not a competition. This is not an activity exclusive for master guides. It is not the elite group, and it is not a non-religious activity. So it means that it is a religious activity, and we have to be clear about that. This is not just a social activity, this is a religious activity, and in my mind, expeditions are probably the best spiritual retreats that you will have ever. And despite the preacher, yeah, because sometimes we measure a spiritual retreat because of the preacher, but in an expedition, God is a preacher through the nature. And this is what is not a master guide outdoor. And let me explain something else, and please be patient with my explanation, what I'm going to share. Don't kill me. But this is based on statistics, okay? This is a special note that I prepared, and it's based on different realities that we might experience. And you might think, okay, why is my Master Guide Club not working here? Why if the young people is not attending? And this might answer partially that question. And it's related to militarism. Militarism is part of our identity as master guides. I'm wearing a uniform right now, and I'm happy with my uniform. But in some places, for example, I was missionary in Norway, and they don't like militarism, and they have a reason for that. And in most of the countries in Europe, they don't like militarism because of the Nazis. After the Second World War and the First World War, they decide we don't want that in our religion. We don't want nothing to do with militarism. And in my work in the UK, in my work in some parts of France, for specific communities, but in general, if you go to Germany, Italy, if you go to all Scandinavia, they don't like militarism. And if you go to big cities in the United States also, and I don't know about Canada, to be honest, there is not 100% love for militarism. I had a classmate in the seminary, and he explained to me this situation. I'm a pastor, a young pastor. I was studying to be a pastor, and I went to a Master Guide Club. I was driving my car. I was 20-something in college. And when I went to that place, they start shouting at me, which is basically the normal thing that we do everywhere or in many places. And I didn't like, so I walk away. In some places, new generations don't react as we used to react. And I don't want to judge them to say that they are softer or something like that. I don't want to judge them, but they react in a different way. And let me share some information from this book called Warriors and Citizens, and asking these questions. Are millennials patriotic? Yes, they are. They love their country. Are they enlisting in the army? Yes. Do they trust veterans? Yes, they do. But 45% of millennials have confidence in the meritocratic nature of the military hierarchy. That means that a lot of young people love militarism, okay? A lot of them. But most of them, millennials, are not militaristic and do not, as a single group, put the military in a pedestal. So this might be for you, might not be for you. if you are in a big city with new generations trying to bring their attention, militarism can work. And I'm talking not about adventures, not about pathfinders, because they love militarism. But I'm talking about youth and young adults, 16 and older, people professional, people that have a work, or like myself that become Adventist with 20 years old and start in the university, and from there I start in the Master Guide Club. Sometimes they might appreciate militarism and shouts and lines and the hard way of militarism. Sometimes they will react and they just walk away. And you can say, okay, but if they don't like it, just they don't need to come. Yeah, but the point is that in my mind, Master Guide Club is one of the best things we have in the church to offer for young people. Okay, to offer for young people. And I will keep explaining. What they like today, sometimes they react against this and they prefer to be, more friendly. They are hard workers. They don't need to, this is not because they don't want to make an effort. They want to make an effort in different ways or with different priorities, basically. Okay? Again, as I said at the beginning, times have changed, and for some people, militarism is not the best way. Who are welcome? Master Guide Outdoors is open for outdoors enthusiasts ages 16 and older that would like to connect with God and His creation. Okay, this is not necessarily an entrance to a Master Guide Club in itself, but it is more a connection with the church, okay, with the representatives of the church, and a use of the skills that Master Guide had earned and learned through the years. Why we need this? This is what a camp out looks like. This is what is the photo they want to post. Yes, yeah, they are crazy for the selfies and everything, you are familiar with this. And this is what our tendency in Master Guide training is. So we are getting closer to the library and farther from the nature and great outdoors. So that's why we need to bring them back. And let me share some amazing facts with you. And please stop me at any point if you have questions, comments, or anything, okay? According to the results of 2018, and this is a trend, which means in the last 2 years didn't change, millennials are venturing into the outdoors more than ever before. If you go to a backpacking trip in a national park, you will find two kind of people, the young people and the retired people. And you will find a lot of retired people, by the way, but you will find a lot of young people, that kind of young people that you will not see in a church. Well, they're in the outdoors, and they are happy to say hi to you. They're happy to sit with you and share a meal. They're happy to share experiences and take their photo together. They are super open out there. And that's an amazing opportunity for us. According to the result, I already mentioned that. Out of the total of campers, 75 million, and I'm talking here about United States and Canada, I think, millennials make up to 38%, and 51% of millennials vow that they are going to increase their time outdoors just this year. So they are looking for what? They would like to travel to different locations. Experience is the key word. Different ways of camping and accommodation. They would like to experience more unique types of accommodation, such as treehouse, safari tents, yurts, or shelters, as I like to use. We like to take more trips into the backcountry, such as backpacking. They are eager to do that, this is another statistic. It says the types of recreation while they are camping by age. Millennials, the younger they get, the more physical outdoor recreation they are expecting. So that's a very good point where we can work with our Mastercard Club to provide this service or this door for young people that is not Adventist, and invite them with clear rules. It is not like everything is allowed and everything. No, with clear rules. Young people will appreciate that, and they will follow rules for a football, soccer, or whatever game. So they're okay with rules. But this is not basically, we had to be careful with the militaristic right away because they might not like it. So we had to understand the context, where we are, who is the people we are working with, and if they are okay or not with some rules. This is not a master guide activity in itself exclusively, but it is open and it is of service and evangelism. I keep going. I see that people is writing. I don't know what they are writing, if they have questions, but I will keep going. If you stop me, Michelin, I'm happy, but I keep going. Unless you stop me, I keep going, okay?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Millennials want a break from all the noise of social media. See this picture. From one side, they want a break. I have my kids, they are telling me, I don't want you to be in the computer all day long, okay? New generations, they were born with social media, so they are kind of tired of social media in one side. But in the other side, we try to have a unique experience in the outdoors that can later be reflected upon, most likely, on social media. So they want to post on social media, but things unique. So they are willing to go to the top of the mountain just for the selfie. And we had to take advantage of that with Pathfinder Club, with Master Guide Club, sorry. They are open. So you have to find good places. And even if it's for a egoist reason, they will have an experience that will change their mind and their lives. It is okay if there is not Wi-Fi or service. They can survive. Believe it or not, young people can survive more than 24 hours without internet. I'm just joking, but that's reality. People believe that they cannot survive without internet. Well, they can. Being outdoors is highly valued among millennials because it reduces stress and improves emotional well-being. That's something positive they are looking for out there. And we can easily provide that on a backpacking trip as one of the options. And let me say something else about backpacking trips. I will mention later, but I have been doing several expeditions, as I call them. If you had to preach to a young person, there are two ways. You can stand on the pulpit and do your best to share the word of God, and they will be watching their social media, TikTok video or something like that, because there is not a connection. But if you walk with them 20 miles, if you sleep with them on a shelter, if you eat the same food next to a lake or a mountain or in the jungle or wherever you want to go, or in the snow, you are creating a connection because you are walking the journey with them. After that walking, after that connection, you can preach, and doesn't matter if you are a bad preacher, they will hear what you have to say because you are someone for them. This is something that back in the time, you were the leader and you are the leader, and we respect you and we love you because you are the leader. But right now, they choose their leader. And the leader is the person that cares for them, that really loves them, that really is authentic, and that they see, they spend time not just club meetings, but pizza meetings, small group meetings, the church meetings, and of course backpacking meetings, and or missionary trips meeting. That's a very good one. I was listening to the testimonies. That's amazing, and that creates strong bonds. After you create that connection, you are authorized to talk to them, okay? And they will listen because you have authority. That's exactly what Jesus did, by the way. He didn't talk about air or theory. He talked about the things that he perfectly knew from his own experience.